Good afternoon, South Africa and the world out there. My name is Pastor Jack Williams. I'm from Potchefstroom. I want everyone to go with me on a journey of self-discovery. I want to talk about my roots as a South African colored, the word colored that I'm using today, that we were imposed on by the previous government of South Africa, the apartheid government. I want to explore my culture, because I want everyone to know what is the South African colored, and everyone to go on a journey out there, even the young people out there who doesn't know what is their colored culture and history, their inheritance, what they are coming from, their ancestry inheritance, where they are coming from. So I want everyone to have a better understanding where the word colored comes from, especially the word South African colored. I want to put emphasis on the word South African colored. You know, in the past we were colonized by the Dutch and the British. Long story short, they came to Cape Town and there was the food trek and all those things. It's part of our history. And all of those people are our forefathers or our ancestors. That is how the colored was born. It was out of the white Dutch or the English, the British, that came here as colonists and colonized South Africa. They had children with the slaves that they brought, because there was colonies from Malaysia as well as Madagascar and all the other places, India. The English brought the Indians here. The Dutch brought the Malaysian slaves as well as the slaves from Madagascar. And these slaves as well as the white males had children with the native people, the Khoisan, which were the first natives of South Africa, which is part of my culture as well as a colored, because I have roots. If you are colored, you have roots from the white, from the Dutch, the English. You have roots from the English, from the Indian, from the Malaysian, from the Khoisan, and the indigenous tribes, because they had children with the woman. And that is what happened. We were classified. That name was imposed upon us. So time went on. Then there was a thing they called apartheid. A very, 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 very bad thing. But I'm not focusing on that. I want to focus on my roots, what happened, how we were born, and holistically how the colored culture, because it seems like our culture is lost. And we want to come together, because there's certain regions in the Cape, the coloreds have a different belief. In the Northern Cape, it's a different belief. In the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, in Gauteng, here in Northwest, where I'm from, we have to unite, because there's a tendency, there's a confusion amongst the colored people. Some in the Western Cape, most of them, they will say they are Malaysians. In the Northern Cape somewhere, or here in Pretoria, in Gauteng or somewhere, someone will just say he is a Khoisan. But in actual fact, we are so mixed. We have a mixed generation and blood. In our DNA, we are mixed. That's why we are colored, and we were classified. There were certain things they did. As time go on, I want to do that for my family, my wife and my children, so that we can know where we are coming from, visit different places in South Africa, so that everyone can know what is the South African colored and what is the word colored. As we were classified, as we were given that name, and the confusion that is amongst us, everyone has the right, someone has the right to say, I'm a Malaysian. It's all fine. You have the right to say you are Khoisan. So we were even called Bushmen. But in actual fact, we are colored and we have roots from those people. And we want to explore all those things. And even while we are oppressed in a new democracy, our government passed bills through the parliament. They passed new laws and bills that affects us. Like I've mentioned, there is a new bill and law that is passed in South Africa, because they call it the equity law and conditions of employment and whatever. So that thing affects us because they say the colored people have less than 1% as well as the Indians for senior management positions, and we are affected very much by that law. Hallelujah. The problem is that our people are nowhere. There is no opportunities for the colored children. There is no job opportunities. There is nothing. Still they impose such laws, and we were the first people. We have our bloodline is part of the Khoisan. So as the first people that were here in South Africa, we are still treated as an unwanted child, because we can't go to Europe and say, yeah, my grandfather was a European, he was a Dutch, or he was English. We can come and settle here and stay here. No, it doesn't work that way. We have to focus on the here and now and what is suitable for us. We have to focus on the positives and move on. Hallelujah. Now we can't say we go to Malaysia because we are mixed. We have a mixed blood. So we are still treated as we don't belong anywhere. We can't go and say, no, my great-grandfather was from Malaysia, because from my father's side, we have Malaysian blood, because his grandfather was from Malaysia. They came as slaves. My wife's people have roots from the Khoisan people, as well as I want to go on a discovery for my children and go and do gender testing, gene testing, so I can see my gene pool. Maybe I can have roots from wherever, as well as from my mother's side. Her father's grandfather was from Ireland. They came with the British here. So we are so mixed. We can't just make a statement and say, I'm a Khoisan. Yes, we do have heritage from the Khoisan. And we want to be acknowledged that the colored people have heritage from the Khoisan, and that they were the first people of First Nation in South Africa before some other tribes came here. Yes, we have heritage from the Khoisan, from the Xhosa, the Sotho, wherever, because those people know their cultures. When you go to one of the African tribes, like the history told us and research told us, is the Bantu people, which we are also part of. We are part of a mixed generation, and we were classified by and imposed on something that we don't know where we fall. Hallelujah. So a white man came, he had children with native people, Khoisan or whatever, or the slaves or whoever, and the colored was born in short. So we are going to go on a journey, certain parts of South Africa visit, and certain things were born that is in South Africa. It's only in South Africa you will find the milk tart, and as we call it in Afrikaans, was born amongst the slaves and the Dutch settlers that came here. There's English words as well. There's a language that is 80-90% Dutch, but it changed and transposed everyone. The colored is predominantly spoken in the colored community, and in the Dutch community, they don't speak Dutch anymore. They speak Afrikaans. It was born here. So that is what we are going to look, whatever touches or wherever we have influenced the colored community. There is things that we eat that was born here, that you only find in South Africa, like bunny chow you only find here. It was amongst the slaves, the Malaysian or the Indian slaves, and colored people. There's a food sense that was born, hallelujah. Koiki course is mostly something that we enjoy amongst the colored people, and the Dutch and the English here in South Africa. So there is certain things that we are going to look into. There is certain things that was brought from Malaysia, from India, and certain things were adapted, and you find it only in South Africa. Certain things were changed, like fat cook, you find it in South Africa, you won't find it some other part in the world, and it's enjoyed. They call it magunya, they call it machuchu, we call it fat cook. If it's small, it's machuchu. If it's big, it's a fat cook. In our community, we eat those. There is the Cape Malay cook sister. When you go, they call it Cape Malay because the Malaysian slaves, they figured out the recipe how to make that, because they brought the recipe from wherever, from Malaysia. But there is a thing that is called Cape Malaysian cook sister. You get the other cook sister, the sweet one. The Cape Malay only have coconut on top. Those things you only find in South Africa, and it's amongst our people. Thank you for everyone who are listening to me. As time go on, this is the first video, it's part 1. I'll be covering a lot of things of my culture and my tradition as a colored. We'll do part 2, part 3, and we'll continue. It's a journey of self-discovery. Like I said, I want to go and find out where I'm coming from. I'm going to dig into my wife's history, myself, and where we are coming from. Everyone who are interested out there, you can come and follow us as the South African color, which is currently a lost culture. So in this video, we are going to address all those things. And everyone can follow us. You can also subscribe. You are welcome. All my details are there. You can subscribe and inbox me as well. You are welcome. Everyone is welcome out there. Certain things that is in our culture, like in the African cultures or tribes, they do lobola. Like in the Indians, is dowry, where they go and ask for the bride's price. So mostly in the colored culture, it doesn't happen where when you get married, we don't go and ask for a bride's price. But there's certain other things in our culture that is interesting. So thank you to everyone out there. God bless.